This afternoon we are very fortunate because we have with us a lady who is not a stranger to us, Madam Daisy, Daisy de Brito. Today is a very special session for us. We're going to have a training, a workshop, not a training, a workshop, hands-on workshop on how to use the Bloom, what we call software for writers of short stories. The Bloom, B-L-O-M, software for writers of short stories. So by the end of today, about 4 hours later, all of us will be able to write our own short stories. I'm very sure of that, right, Daisy? Yeah, Daisy said, yes, we will be able to write our own short stories. And that to me is a very good thing, right? We'll be able to write our own short stories. Yeah? And recently, Mr. Jindi, the Vice President, myself, and Mr. Josak, we interviewed 2 candidates for the post of Secretary for KBB, Kurikulum Bahasa Bidoyoh. A special post, Secretary for KBB, because Mr. Josak will not be around by January next year. Yeah? So this lady, already interviewed and selected, will be joining us. She is very qualified. Dr. Florence, would you like to add anything? Without further ado, I would like to invite Daisy de Brito to start with the workshop. Daisy, please. Oh yeah, sorry. Minta maaf.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Cikgu Rejek. A very good afternoon, everyone. Puan Daisy, and then Dr. Clarence, Dr. Florence, everybody, good afternoon. Now, saya macam terpanggil untuk hadir di sesi pada petang ini. Datuk Presiden reminded me many times, please spare a bit of your time to drop by and say hello to our team, the BLDP team. This is the BLDP team, and I have not made my presence so far. And actually, the last session, I was supposed to be with him here. Nevertheless, we have been in communication with Dr. Florence, the coordinator. Now, this is something quite urgent that we need to look into. The last symposium, the last one, there was the forum, by BGA and DBNA. There was an issue being raised by the participants on number 1, the status of our BLDP. Is this still BLDP? Under BLDP. Number 1. Number 2, they want us in DBNA and this team to standardize the teaching of the Bidoyoh language. Meaning to say we only have one common language to be taught in school. That was the issue. And number 3, how far has been the progress of the Bidoyoh development, the Bidoyoh language development project. For your information, Dr. Florence, myself, Puan Desi, and Nicholas Amin, for information, we have been in out. Cikgu Rejeng just joined us lately. We have been in out of Datuk Manyin's office. We have been in out of the Kementerian Pendidikan Negeri to negotiate on this curriculum. And one prerequisite that it must be taught in the school is that we have to have just one language to be taught. And we tried it, ladies and gentlemen, we tried it. We tried to adapt to use the biata upon the advice of the consultant, the SIL. Are you still in the SIL team, Desi? Yeah, the SIL. We try. Why we choose biata? Number 1, biata has been proven to have a lot of literatures way back in the late Datuk William Nye's time. Number 2, the Biata team, the Biata language has been taught fairly well throughout the Bidayuh area in terms of the Bibles and the church and all that. So it was adapted. But it cannot work. It just cannot work. We cannot teach the Biata to the Bibukar, to the Biselako, to the Bijagoy, to the Bisigai. It just cannot work. So for that, we come back to the original strategy. That is, we teach the Bibukar in Syrian, the Bibukar Sadung in Syrian language. We teach the Biata in the Biata side. We teach the Selako Rara in the Selako side and the Jago Bratak Singai in the Bau side. So that makes things look smooth. I must thank Cikgu Rijeng, my dear hardworking Cikgu, who has been thick and swim with us, thick and thin with us. Cikgu Josak, I heard that Cikgu Josak day is very near, isn't it? So he wants his last month. Huh? One thing I must tell you about Cikgu Josak, I just don't know how he got his energy to be with us in the DBNA. Almost 10 years, I think. Cikgu Josak, my former teacher. Now he is still with us, still healthy. God bless you, Cikgu. So thank you very much, Puan Desi. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm very excited today. And I want you to, I don't want to sound, yeah, please, those who came after my announcement, please sit by your language group, because we are going to use a very natural language. So if you need help from your peers, from your language group, please sit together. Yeah, so you can help each other and work smoothly. Yeah, so today, before we go to the content of what I have prepared, some things I need to tell you how we are going to work today. So the first time I taught the translation workshop, we have all the wording part first, and then we practice. This time will be different. I will talk a bit, and then you will work. I will talk a bit, you will work. So it will be very active. So if there's a language group that is too big, and you say, we don't fit here, you can use 2 tables, because you will need to use the big papers you have there, and talk and a lot of things. And we will move around the whole hall, because you will need to record. So get your phones ready to record the audio. It's one of the activities we have. And also, I want to invite you to unlock your creativity side. Everyone have a creativity side. So I want now you don't think about KBB. Okay, because sometimes we think of KBB, I need to fit here. No. Now I want you to be creative, to be free of thinking of your community, your children, maybe your the children in your community, or your grandchildren, or the people have around you, the youth, the adults around you. And then we will have some timing, because there's a lot of materials. And I'm using, this is a manual, a literacy manual, and this workshop is given in 2 to 4 weeks. So I'm going to summarize all that in 4 hours, including Bloom. So we will need to start working a bit fast, and then a short time of practice. But I hope enough to produce. So at the end, I hope at least we can go out with 2 stories per person. 2 stories per person. That's the goal. But we will be practicing to probably someone who have a higher skill can make more than that. But at least 2 for each one. That's the goal for today. And if we can, if times allow, at least you go out with one, with one all already formatted for printing, something like that, using Bloom. So that's our goal for today. And part of dreaming, why is this exciting? Because I am a very creative person, I think. And I like to use it with my children, even now my children are 12, 9, and 5. And as I was looking for books for them, I saw this set. I don't know if any one of you have been seeing this collection. It's called Sarawak Folk Tales for All. And when I say Sarawak Folk Tales, yeah, I should have that. So it's a collection of books that have some folk tales from Sarawak. Maybe this one says Kumang and the Ungrateful Python. It looks like Siban. The Widow and the Colorful Cloth Frog. I don't know, by the colors looks like Bidayuh story, but I don't know. You say. Modi and the Magic Stones. Udin and the Transformed Patting Fish. The Good Friends and a Hungry Dog. So, and when I saw this, that would be amazing if DBNA can produce a collection of books of their own. So dream today. Like, I want to see this story. I want to see this not only included in KBB, but also that as DBNA, as Bidayuh people, we can start producing and producing more books. And with that, let's start our session today. So, a quick question. Why is mother tongue literature important? Can someone tell me your thoughts? Culture transmission. Or is it not important? Okay, so I keep think about that, and I ask you, how many books are needed for the people in our community to become good readers? Do you know? Or have an idea? Just give me numbers. 20? 1,000? Okay. This table, I haven't heard anything from this table. How many books? 10? 20 per year. Okay, experience suggests that people need to read about 800 pages of materials before they become fluent readers. So let's say if one book has 8 pages, how many books do you need? 100. You will need to have 100 books so a new reader can become fluent in reading the language. And usually we don't start reading a dictionary. When you went to kindy or first grade, how many lines did you read? Or your students, how many lines do they read when they're year 1, year 2? Maybe 1, 2 lines? And they're still stumbling on that. So we need to give them more materials to read. Why? What is this picture about? I think you should know. What is this? A bridge, a Bidayuh style bridge. So literature should form a bridge from the easiest books, let's put the easiest books here, to the harder books. We don't give a first grade kid to read the whole Bible. They say, oh, now you know the ABC, take the Bible and then read it all. We give them Bible stories, right? Shorter stories. Or we just read to them until they get familiar with that. So we are going to build this bridge with producing materials, with producing stories. We are building this bridge. So I will talk a lot of children because this is our goal for KBB, but it could be even for adults who are starting, who cannot read Bidayuh very well. So to help them to get fluent in Bidayuh reading, we need to produce books that help them to go from the basics to the most difficult or thicker books. Okay, so we need to start thinking what makes a good story in our language. So a good story for me, for my culture, will not be as interesting as your own stories. Or can be other way. Maybe there's another a story that for you is, this is amazing, this is the best story ever. But probably for me, like, I will struggle to find what's the interesting part here. So every culture have a way to tell their stories, their own stories. And we will be practicing stories. That's why I asked you to sit on your language group, because probably each language group also have, even we are all Bidayuh, I'm included. But maybe at the Syrian side, they have a bit different way to tell the stories, different from the Salako community. So that's why you will need to be closer to discuss with your peers how do you write the stories and check that they are interesting, they are nice. And we, as we go, we will gain more skills to do that. Okay, now we have an activity to find out how our culture tells stories, or how we can find out the way our community tells stories. So we are going to divide, or you're going to divide into groups of 2 or 3. Each group should have a recording device, can be your phone, and then you will choose one person to be the storyteller. This person will tell a story you know well from your community. And then someone will record, the rest will hear, but tell the story as you were telling, not for you 3 or the other person, but like if you were telling it to a group of children or a group of youth or in a community. So add all the excitement part or anything that the stories have. After the story is recorded, the group of 2 or 3 will listen to the story several times, and then you have a handout. You will answer the questions that you have there. How does the story start? How does the story end? What is the main event? Why is this story interesting to me or to the people in my culture? Okay? Again, I repeat again. So first, you group in 2 or 3 people. Then one of you will tell a story about, can be a well-known story. No need to build a new story right now. A story that maybe is common in your community, in your own language. Don't translate it, just tell it in your own language. And someone will record. After the recording is done, then you listen the story again, and you answer the questions you have here. Okay, any question? Okay, 2 more minutes to fill the questions. So one help is like, for example, the first question, say how the story starts. In English, the story starts once upon a time. So it's very particular of stories that start with once upon a time. But maybe in Bidayuh, it's a different entrance to the story. So those things add there in your notes. So these questions are for yourself. Why? Why you need to, I'm not going to ask every group to share. This is for yourself. Why? Because later you are going to write your own stories. We will see it, and it needs to be natural for your people. So you need to identify how the stories naturally in your language starts, continues, and how they end. So it's for yourself, you keep it there, because later when you actually are going to write your first story, you need to have all this knowledge handy for you to work on. Right now, let's move on. And we are going to talk about culture. And we have another activity. That's why I'm saying every topic will have an activity. So we are not going to use the computers right now. It will be at the end, only for Bloom. Now, with a partner, make a list. Don't take too long thinking. Just someone like brainstorming. You just write. Make a list of all the different cultural information people from your group know. What are the events, or maybe seasons? I think over there we're talking about durian and things like that. And then after you have written the list, you will put a check mark if those topics have been already written in a story or have been recorded in any way. Okay? So it's for you to know, our language, our Bidayuh doesn't have any book about this thing or about this other topic, or etc. So start at this time. I only give you 5 minutes to do that. Just a list. I gave you some white paper, blank papers. You can use that. Make a list first of all the topics of your culture and your language or events, and then tick besides where there is already a book or any other form of recording of that topic. Okay, start now.